All right, welcome to Storm Talk instead of the regular blog here for today. As you guys are fully aware, we've got some changes that will be coming our way as we head through the next couple of days. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm Wave Meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to the Storm Talk blog here for the day today as we are getting ready for what looks to be a decent chance to get some rain back into the area, at least for part of the area, as we get into the upcoming weekend. I know we have a lot going on with Gaslight Festival, a lot of outdoor events, period, but we need some rainfall. So I guess it's hopefully going to be a setup where everyone gets happy in this ordeal, because I don't think it's going to rain the entire weekend. I mean, be clear on that. I think it'll be in waves if rainfall is the best way to explain it. But there will be times it will be coming down pretty hard. And some of these rain bands, as typical with tropical systems, they'll be moving slow, but they do tend to repeat themselves. So you may find more than one rain band in your area with this kind of a setup and hardly anything down the road. But I'll show you a visual of that coming up in just a few minutes. So good morning to Angela. Good morning to Karen. Hope all is well. Hello, Adam. Been missing StormTAK. Glad it's back. Yeah, it's been a quiet period for us. So working on not only StormTAK, but getting ready, of course, for Snow Talk. Not anytime soon, but getting ready for that season. So this is the time of the year where it's kind of a lot going on at once, right? Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's go into the countdown to fall, because, you know, I love to do that. So we are at 11 days and counting. Obviously, the most recent cool blast, I think, constitutes as a nice little preview to fall. We'll take that. So these little countdowns, that's all right. You know, at least they're there. At least we have still the goal. It's not going back up to a countdown to summer around the corner here. So at least we have that to look forward to. But I still think it's going to be a step down process to get us down to being locked into autumn weather. Graham, senior comment. A lot of topics have been about the Gaslight Festival this weekend. I totally understand that. Now, I know it's relatively prolonged to be in a couple of weeks, but a majority of people like going to the one section of it and period where you get a chance to walk around from all the different booths in downtown and J-Town. I totally understand that. So yes, the weather does play a factor in that, and we will have at least some rain to contend with. What I'm going to do is walk you through where we stand today on the chances for rain and impacts intensity, and see if it's stacking up for all the days for the Gaslight Festival, or if there's perhaps one day that's better than the other. We'll take a closer look at all that coming up in just a second. Right now, it is beautiful out. Gorgeous. Once again, we've got nothing but that beautiful blue sky overhead. A little bit of haze, some of that smoke still flying through. Not as prevalent as what it was, but still pretty obvious. Looking from space, well, you can see Francine right there hugging the Gulf Coast. And then it's quiet just about everywhere else at the moment. So let's zoom right in on the hurricane, and you can see the eye that is formed. Now, we don't have radars all the way out into the water, so that's why it looks a little lopsided. Like, where's the rain on the other side of the eye? Well, there is certainly rain over here. You just can't see it based on the radar beam. So it's probably a fairly symmetrical system, but as typically the case with a tropical cyclone, your north and northeast side are the worst sides to be on. Not sure where 5 to 9 p.m. came from, but if you need to be somewhere between 5 and 9 p.m. today, I think you'll be all right. The northeast side, that's the part to watch for your strongest of winds, storm surge, heavy rainfall, and then it's really the eastern and the southeast section that will carry your tornado potential. Really, when it comes to tropical systems, there's not a whole lot that they are known for on the western side, other than a flip in the storm surge direction. If there's bodies of water on either side of its track, you may have the water going inland when it approaches, and then when it's leaving, it is coming more onshore. It can cause a different type of storm surge. So that's the only time that the front and the back of the hurricane make a difference, is if the topography itself, where it's coming into, has before and after impacts. But when you have just one land area on one side, typically it's just the leading edge there that is most problematic. All right, it is still forecast to track to the northeast. So today we have another quiet day for us, nice and quiet, but Francine's going to be the main focal point as it continues to move to the north and east. We plotted all the little white dots everywhere. Those white dots are all the white dots indicating all the oil refineries, which is where, in many cases, they will have to evacuate if they haven't already, at least temporarily stop production to make sure the workers are safe. And typically when we see this happen, gas prices do indeed go up because oil production and refinery has been drawn back because of the tropics. Many argue it's a ploy because of the hurricanes. That's why they do it, just to raise the price. Look, I'm not into politics, staying out of that. All I can tell you is that it is going through the refineries. And yes, if there are people out there, they need to get off of them. And that's all I can tell you from a safety standpoint. I'll leave the rest up to the politicians, but you get the idea. Impacts coming in from the southwest, northeast into Louisiana itself. And then it weakens fairly quick. There's not much of a steering flow in general in the United States. So it comes in like the Kool-Aid man busting through the wall, like, yeah. And what does it say? Oh, yeah. Like all excited about being there. And then it's like you jump in and there's nobody there, but maybe like two kids drinking Kool-Aid. So he's basically approaching rapidly into the United States, but the party is not really as energetic as what it was in Louisiana. So it's just basically an area of low pressure to kind of just get stuck there across the southeast corner or southern corner of the United States into Louisiana, and will stay until something has a chance to kick it out of the way. And what may kick it out of the way is something I'm willing to bet you are not going to expect, and that's going to lead to one of the surprises I'm going to tell you in just a second. First off, there is the leftovers. I'm thinking we're going to get, as you'll see on Futurecast, the first rounds of rain Thursday night. We should start seeing some rain bands move in. Friday likely will take the brunt of the rain chance. Saturday, that chance is not as high as Saturday, but it's still there. And there is an opportunity that it could go back up again for Sunday and Monday, maybe Tuesday, but not necessarily because of Francine. So there's a lot of murkiness in the extended outlook, but just focusing on Francine. We're not expecting this to be a Nike repeat. Still got to say that. But it will have some of these outer rain bands, and I do think that is important. We need some rainfall here. We talked about this. We need to get a nice, good drought somehow, or just make sure that we don't end up with having a really just a blah kind of drought, right? You need some water to get into these trees and to allow for some brighter color because we're getting down to the wire. Here it is in Futurecast. You'll be fine out the door in school, work, Thursday morning, no issues. You'll get home from work and school fine Friday with no issues. Now, you may notice the clouds getting a little thicker. You can sense something's coming our way, right? But when you go to bed Friday or Thursday night and you wake up Friday morning, more than likely we've already had rain from one of the outer bands. Just like you see on the coastline of these tropical systems, they have these outer bands that spin away from the center and they kind of just throw out and weekend usually. They throw out, enhance some rainfall, and boop, they're gone. And may have more than one of these, almost like looking at an onion that is being peeled apart. And because it is not moving much in its entirety, its caboose is not moving at all, then these bands just keep redeveloping and they fade out because of the loss of the heating of the day. The sun comes up, heats up the area, boom, another one forms. And the danger with that is not in repeated rounds, but you can also get into an isolated tornado potential because you are on the worst side of a tropical system to be on where you don't want isolated tornadoes, and that could happen. Now, based on its angle and where it stops is key on that. Based on what I've seen so far, that would put more of a Mammoth Cave to maybe Danville, Kentucky, perhaps Springfield, Kentucky, in that line and south. That will be the spot to watch. You'll be a little more in that feeder zone where there could be an isolated tornado threat. Anywhere north of that, you will likely be a little too far north, and you'll just be dealing with rain bands coming through. These rain bands will indeed disintegrate or lose their punch as they go north. So say the center of Francine stops in Memphis, does not want to go any further. Then these outer rain bands are going to have a really tough time going all the way into even southern Indiana and certainly Louisville. Sorry, my nose is itching, which means somebody's talking about me, right? If your nose itches, it's either that or you have allergies. Anyway, the outer bands themselves will get weaker. If the low keeps moving with it, then you can get a further reach on some of these bands. But if it just stays stationary, yeah, most of your heaviest of rain, any concern on severe weather, anything like that, it's going to be when the bands initiate and you're that center of that spin. But once they get away from the driving point, the driver in the seat, then they weaken off. So that's the reason why we don't know yet how much rain is going to be reached into Louisville, and certainly for Indiana and up 71. We're a little more confident south of Louisville and south and southwest because you'll be closer to the spin. So therefore, your rainfall totals will be higher. Any isolated severe potential will also be found there as we refine that forecast. So I hope that makes sense. But again, these will continue to spin about. But as I mentioned, this should eventually just spin and then fade away slowly and actually gets pushed more west. But we have something else that may get involved that involve the tropics that may take over the storyline. And you're like, what? What would that be? Because when we look at the list of names here, all right, we remember about Alberto, we remember Barrow, we remember Chris, Debbie, Ernesto, we remember. Francine, we obviously now remember. So what do we have to worry about here? Is it going to be a tropical system? Well, yeah, it could be. Next name on the list is Gordon, but there's also a very strong tropical wave in the central Atlantic that could get named as early as today. So that could become Gordon, which means the one that I'm talking about closer to us could be Helene. So don't know yet which one of the two that I may be talking about in the next couple of days because we have other activity in the Atlantic, and it's a race who gets the name first. So it'll either be Gordon or Helene. But where will it be? Well, actually, it will be east of the Appalachian Mountains over the Carolinas. While we are dealing with the leftovers of Francine, which becomes very elongated, by the way, it doesn't look very round at all, right? It looks like a front at this point by the time we get into Monday. Another tropical wave, perhaps even a depression, that forms here across the Carolinas actually wants to do a very odd move here and go backwards and heads toward Kentucky. That will give us some rain in our area about, I would say, next Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, of course. We're past it. It'd be the one after the weekend that we may have another tropical system coming in from the east. Now, I don't know how organized it'll be at that point. It may just be an area full of pressure, but it'll be another chance for some soaking rain, probably hitting areas that Francine couldn't reach. So it's a 2-for-1 deal, guys. Yes, we're having to sacrifice probably a week of time here that we have to deal with the two. But again, Francine coming in from the south, and we don't know what is coming in from the east, but there's decent agreement that the two combined, split about 24 hours apart, will help in inducing rainfall for our area for the upcoming weekend and parts of next week. So I hope that makes you guys happy. We need the rain, right? It'll calm down after that, and we'll get back into the cold front action, wait for fronts to drop down, which will be some of our fronts that will kick in more chilly air into the southeast corner of the country, but that'll take a bit of time. Oh, we got a spammer. Well, that's been a while. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. All right, see you later. All right, got rid of the spammer. Everyone's talking about their allergies. Yeah, I get it. Allergies are wild right now. Nick, I'm concerned about Sunday gaslight. Well, that's the thing. As we head into Sunday, it really just depends on how quickly Francine fades or not. I mean, right now, if you can tell by looking at this, I mean, Francine's right over here. I can't really draw it. Sorry. Let's see if I can click my pen. There it is. This is Francine here. This is Gordon / Helene off the Carolina coast. And notice by the time we get into really Sunday night, Monday morning, there's not much left of Francine. So I really think Sunday is going to be the better looking day of gaslight. If I had to pick of the three, Sunday looks to be the best because Francine will be weakening on Sunday, and we'll still be waiting for Gordon / Helene. Hopefully gets resolved soon. Gordon / Helene to move in from the east and then bring us some rain. We may get a good 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer, of nothing before the two. And I'm not guaranteeing that whatever comes in from the Carolinas is going to hit us. I'm just saying there's a lot of support that it will get pulled our way. And that would give us two, especially if it gets named, two tropical name systems in a week, which I'm sure it's happened before, but I really can't recall from recent memory. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Let me pull up the 10 days so you guys can see that real fast. And then I got to skedaddle and get ready for the midday show. So let's bring you, tell you what, let's bring that up full so you guys can see it. And again, we're going to go with hot weather in the short term. So back to the 90s again today. Aren't you excited? And then as we get into what was I going to say? We get into 90s today. We get into the clouds increase on Thursday. It feels like a Monday to me. Then the rain increases Saturday. I get Friday into Saturday. That's your core of the rain bands. Not all areas will get them, but if you get one, it will be a repeating band. We'll watch for any isolated severe risk. Again, that's going to be mainly in southern Kentucky, down in Tennessee. Meanwhile, Francine will weaken. We'll get a break, a gradual break that will develop on Sunday. I think we'll hold on to that break on Monday. And I know we don't have additional rain chances after that, but I'm likely going to have to raise them for Gordon / Helene that will then move in from the east and allow for another round of rain, but that may be for that following week. All right, there you go, guys. Big ramble about nothing, I feel like, but we need some rainfall, so make sure we cover that. We'll have more on this coming up on midday and, of course, at noon, and more on the long-term stuff once we get past this weather system, because I have several more goodies to share with you guys, but one day at a time. All right, take care, and I will see you all come up on the flip side.